Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be joined by Viktor Hovland here in the media centre at the BMW PGA Championship. Viktor, congratulations on your FedEx Cup victory. PGA Tour season is finished. It's still very much ongoing here on the DP World Tour. How much are you looking forward to this week and your run to the end of the season?
Yeah, it's been a kind of a crazy month for me. I had a nice 2 weeks off back in Oklahoma before coming here. Just got some rest and getting ready for this week. This is a big week for the DP World Tour, and I've always loved coming here. Had a good week here last year. Hopefully can improve on that a little bit. And obviously the Ryder Cup in a couple weeks, so lots to play for and looking forward to it.
Thanks. We'll go straight to questions, please. We'll start with Craig.
Hi, Victor. I just wondered how easy or difficult it is. You have such a high when you win the FedEx, then you have that 2 weeks off. Is it a kind of, and how do you get yourself back up?
Obviously it was a really cool accomplishment for me, and those are the moments that make all the practice and hours worth it. But at the same time, I enjoy getting back to work and trying to get better, and maybe I'll try this thing out and see if that works. So even though I get success in tournaments and winning is a lot of fun, I still enjoy getting back to work and see if I can get better. And so that's why I don't have that hard of a time changing my mindset and thinking about the next week that's coming up. For example, this week is a big week, and then the Ryder Cup is coming up. I got to make sure that I sit down and enjoy the moment and enjoy the success that I've had, but at the same time, I don't let that take away from these tournaments that are coming up as well.
Nice. Neil, please.
Yeah, hi Victor. Just asking about the trip to Rome this week. What did you get out of it? Does anything particularly surprise you or learn anything about any of the other players this week? And just from the pairings this week, should we take anything out of it? You're playing with Rory and Ludwig this week. Should we look forward to Rome maybe about who's playing with who?
Yeah, I think we're all just trying to get to know each other a little bit better, even though most of the guys would see each other every single week. Some of them, some of the guys on the team play over here mainly, and other part of the team play over in the States a lot. So it was just a great time to spend together, see how the golf course was. Not everyone on the team had seen the course before. I had played the Italian Open last year. The rough was certainly a lot juicier even back then, which for that week it was very thick. So I think we'll probably see a tough Marco Simone. In terms of the pairings, I just showed up to the tee time and played. So you should probably ask the captains for the pairings instead.
We'll go to Martin next, please.
Victor, how do you contrast going into Whistling Straits to going into this Ryder Cup from a personal perspective?
It was obviously playing the Ryder Cup is super, super special. It's something that I think is one of the coolest coolest things to be a part of, especially growing up in Norway, playing a lot of junior golf, in Europe, a lot of team golf, and going to college, playing on a team, and I just love that atmosphere. So to be part of a Ryder Cup was very special. Obviously, it was tough for me as a rookie playing away and not having very many European fans there. And I felt like I played some good golf. I just struggled a little bit around the green, and even on the green, I just didn't putt it very well. And obviously the short game woes that I've been vocal about before, I think kind of expressed themselves a little bit that week. So it was a little bit bitter experience. I would have liked to have done better and put some more points on the board. But I think this time around, I feel like I'm a way more complete player. We're playing at home, and I think the home crowd advantage is going to be a lot different than it was at Whistling Straits. So I don't know exactly what we're getting into, but I feel like it's going to be a different experience.
Given what you've achieved in the 2 years, and particularly recently, do you feel that changes your role in the team? And if it does, are you relishing that higher profile in that team room?
I don't know. I just try to be myself, and I just want to get along with everyone on the team. I think what's cool is that we're all so different people on the team, and I don't think we should try to be someone that we're not. We all have a common goal, and that is to bring the cup back. And with that frame, it makes everyone it's a lot easier to get along with each other. So I don't think we have to play certain roles. We just be ourselves, and we'll get along great and play our asses off.
Phil, please.
Victor, you kind of touched on this a bit earlier, but have the other players who've played more Ryder Cups than you, have they sort of reassured you that you just got a bit unlucky that we don't always get beaten by 10 points, but it's not normally a bit more fun than that?
Well, I think that goes without saying. We don't really have to focus on what happened too much at Whistling Straits. We just have to learn from what happened, and I think it's going to be a way different cup this year.
I think a few of the players, Tommy Fleetwood being one of them, spoken about the players who were there having a certain bond and a certain determination to sort of provide a very different result this time around. Is that something you're aware of that you feel?
I think we're all pretty motivated to prove that what happened last time it's not going to happen again. We're certainly going to wear the uniform very proudly, and certainly at home in front of all the fans. I think it's going to be, it's obviously going to be super special, and we're all going to be very motivated to play our best.
Excellent. Next question, please.
Hi, Victor. I just wondered what your impressions of Ludwig Åberg are, having seen him in the flesh, and what you think he can do.
Yeah, so I've only played with him one time, and it was recently. Very, very impressive. Obviously, I've been paying attention to his results, and I remember this is over a year ago, we had a FaceTime together, got to know him a little bit there, and I've gone to dinner with him probably once. So I hadn't spent very much time with him, and just watching his results, I'm just very impressed, not just the golf stuff, because I've hardly seen his golf swing, or I don't know anything about his game, but just the way he carried himself, his demeanor, seemed very mature, seemed to enjoy the moment, but wasn't scared. And I think that's the type of personality that's going to fit very nicely into the Ryder Cup. It didn't seem like the moment was too big for him. And I think that in itself, as a rookie, just being professional for a couple months, I think that is way more impressive than any accomplishment that he's made as a professional golfer, results-wise.
Just to quickly follow on that, when you say FaceTime and dinner, did he seek you out and seek your advice and your help? Is that what you mean?
Well, I guess he was looking into a similar management company that I'm with, and he just wanted to ask him questions about my representation, and we talked about some other stuff, and he's a Swedish, he's from Sweden, I'm from Norway. It just seemed like a good opportunity to get to know each other a little bit, and he's a good kid.
Thanks. Any more questions for Victor? Oh, Kev, please.
Hi, Victor. Just following on from that kind of Scandinavian theme, is there a kind of a bonding between the Dane and the Swede and the Norwegian in the team? And do you recognise each other's languages? Can you speak Swedish, Danish?
Yeah, it's interesting. I can read Danish very easily, but I understanding Danish is very tough just because of how they pronounce it. Swedish is very tough for me to read, but when we speak with each other, it's very easy. There's a lot of Swedes in Norway that seek work, or especially in golf instructing. Almost half the coaches are Swedish in Norway, so I'm very familiar with the language, and so I think that makes it a little bit more familiar as well when you're on a team and you're at such a big stage, and everything is in for me, a foreign language, even though it's English. It's nice to have someone there that you can speak the same language with, and you kind of know where they come from. We have, even though they're from a different culture, like Ludwig and Nikolai, we have a very similar culture. Just makes it a little bit more comfortable in that on that big stage.
And have you seen much of Nikolai's game?
Got to play with him yesterday in the practice round. That was the first time I've ever played with him. Very impressive, has a lot of speed, and yeah, I like his game a lot.
Alex, please.
Yeah, Victor, could you, since you have already played Marco Simone and then you were obviously there this week, can you kind of give us an assessment of what the golf course is like and how you would play that golf course? And obviously we all know that the rough is pretty high. Do you expect it to be that way when you get back there in a couple weeks?
Yeah, when I played it last year in the Italian Open, I honestly not a big fan of the golf course. It's very blind, and for a stroke play event, I was not a big fan. This time around, when I played it, I still don't think it's an amazing stroke play event or golf course, but for match play, I think it's going to be super exciting because there's a good mix of the holes that are easy, that you can make birdies and you can make eagles, but there's also some extremely difficult holes where if you make a par, you could win the hole. So I think that makes for a really good Ryder Cup because you're not going to see too many halved holes. I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement, and I think that makes for an exciting Ryder Cup, especially the shots required as well. They're very demanding. You have to drive it well off the tee, or else it's going to be very, very difficult. Some of the pin placements, too, they allow for iron shots to get really, really close if you hit a good shot, and if you miss it, you're going to have a very difficult up and down. So I just think there's a lot that can happen, and nothing is over until it's over.
John, please.
Victor, are you a client, so to speak, of
Yeah, I started kind of getting into the stats part of the game, say maybe 2 years ago. And I played a practice round with Eduardo at Torrey Pines whenever the U.S. Open was there. And that was the first time I really met the guy. And he was just a very pleasant guy, super, super nice guy. And the more I started asking about stats questions, because I play a little bit of poker and I'm into numbers and yeah, just so I have kind of a point of reference to ask some of those questions. And when I asked some of those questions, I was very impressed with the answers that I got. And when he's such a nice guy and have accomplished the things that he's accomplished in his game, his information carries a lot more weight. He's also an engineer. I mean, he's just a brilliant guy. And when we started diving into some of the stats, you know, we picked up on a couple of things. And I think, especially this year, we figured out that, you know, for example, my short irons, I've been short-siding myself way too much, almost twice as much as another good iron player, just comparing that. And when you're short-siding yourself twice as much as other guys with short irons, that's hard to overcome. And that's just that's a way I have improved by not improving my skill set. That's just by thinking better and making better decisions. So that's where Eduardo's stats come in very handy for me. When did you start using it? I don't know the exact date, but it was yeah, just under 2 years ago, I'd say. Yeah, close to 2 years ago.
And last question here, please.
Hi, Victor. If I may just go back to the language point you were just discussing between the Danes and the Swedes and the Norwegians. I wonder if there's a message for your captain, Luke Donald, here, when it comes to the pairings, maybe to put some of you guys together, because you could be out on the course talking quite freely about tactics and the Americans won't have a clue what you're on about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into pairings, but obviously, you know, if you speak a similar language and you have a similar culture, it's easier to get along, and you know, easier to we can strategize among ourselves, not having the Americans listen in on our conversation. So there's definitely a little side game there, but
could it be a secret weapon?
Maybe, but if it comes down to that stuff, you know, I think if we just play best or play better golf, hopefully that stuff shouldn't matter too much in the equation. But you never know.
Great. Thanks for your time, Victor. Have a great week.
Yep.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.